Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. That Magic Guy here, and today, I've got something really special lined up for you. This isn't just another card trick tutorial or something you'll forget after watching. This one is genuinely one of my all-time favorite effects to perform. It's simple, powerful, and completely impossible from the spectator's point of view. And the best part is that it uses nothing more than an ordinary deck of cards. Seriously, just a normal deck. No gimmicks, no trick cards, no fancy setups that you have to hide in your sleeve. Just cards. You can hand this deck to anyone. The skeptical spectators, the overly curious ones, the people who swear their uncle was a magician so they know everything, and they still won't find anything suspicious. Now, if you've been with the channel for a while, you already know how much I love card magic. I especially love tricks that feel like the magician isn't even the one doing the magic the spectator is. Those kinds of effects hit differently, and this trick fits perfectly into that category. So let's get right into it, because the performance alone will show you why I love it so much. Imagine you're hanging out with some friends. You pull out your deck and spread the cards out. Nothing unusual, just a regular shuffled deck. Then you say, "Alright, I want you to pick a card. Any card you like. Free choice." And you genuinely mean it. They can pick anything. Maybe they choose this one. In this trick, their choice really is free. Once they settle on a card, you tell them, "Listen, I'm not going to look at your card. Not even a peek." You turn your head completely away, making it crystal clear that you couldn't possibly see what they selected. I usually like to throw in one more line that adds a little theater to the whole moment. Something like, "To be honest, I won't even know if I did this trick correctly until the very end." Once the spectator peeks at their card and remembers it, you take it back and place it into the middle of the deck. Cleanly, openly, nothing suspicious. You're not doing any sleight of hand here, and that's exactly what makes this moment beautiful. You push the card flush into the deck and then say, "Let's give the deck a few cuts just to make sure the card is completely lost." And you really do cut the deck. You can even let the spectator cut it if you want. Now comes the fun part. You hold the deck, look at it, and pretend to think for a moment. I have a strong feeling. I might know what your card is. You start flipping through the cards dramatically, like you're Sherlock Holmes hunting for clues. You pull out some cards and say something like, "It's definitely not this card. Nope, not that. Nope, not this one either." And after a few seconds of struggling, you shrug and give up. "You know what, guys? I have no idea. I really can't find your card. I could look through this deck 100 times and still fail." This is where the trick gets really interesting, because now you hand the power to the spectator. You close the deck and tell them, "So you know what? I'm going to leave this in your hands. You're going to be the magician this time." That line always gets a reaction. Suddenly the spectator is leaning in, curious, excited, wondering what's about to happen next. You continue, and I'm going to start placing cards down like this, one by one. Whenever you get a feeling, any feeling, maybe a gut instinct, just call out "stop" anytime you want. And you start dealing cards face down at a slow, rhythmic pace. They can stop whenever they want. Maybe they stop here, or maybe they go a bit further. Let's say they stop at this point. You freeze and say, "Right here? Are you sure? You can go further if you want." Sometimes they'll change their mind. Sometimes they won't. Either way, it feels like every decision belongs to them. Once they're locked in, you flip over the card they chose to stop on. It's a 8. "Interesting," you say. "You stopped on 8. One card earlier would have been a king. One card later, a 5. But you stopped exactly right here." Now the suspense builds. You slowly count 8 cards from this point. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way till 8. And the 8th card is their selection. That moment hits hard. They feel like they controlled everything. They chose where to stop. They had absolute freedom. And yet, the card they stopped on somehow predicted exactly where their chosen card would appear. It feels like fate, destiny, some strange cosmic connection, whatever they want to believe. And that, right there, is the performance. All right, magicians. Let's break this down step by step. As impossible as that looked, the method behind this trick is incredibly simple. The entire trick relies on a special 14-card stack that you quietly set up before the performance. To build the stack, you need the following cards: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, a queen, and an ace. This stack is easy to remember, easy to put together, and once it's in place, the trick basically performs itself. These represent the numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 for the queen, and 14 for an ace. Now, most of you will think that ace represents 1, but you can simply tell your spectator that since ace is the highest valued card in the deck, we'll consider its value to be 14. Once you have them, you're going to place one random card between each pair of values. For example, take your ace, place a random card under it, then place the queen, another random card under that, then the 10, then another random card, and so on. Keep going until you reach the 2. Under the 2, make sure you add one final random card. A lot of people forget that last one, and it's important because you need a complete stack of 14 cards. When you're done, your stack should have the ace at the top and the 2 near the bottom. Be sure you remember which ace you used. I like to use the ace of spades as it's an iconic card. Once you've got your stack, you place all 14 cards at the bottom of the deck. That's your setup. There's nothing suspicious visible, nothing out of order, nothing that a spectator would notice. You spread the cards and let the spectator choose any card they want, as long as it's not from the bottom 14 cards. That's easy to manage because you can simply spread from the top and keep the bottom section still. Once they choose a card, you take it back and place it right on top of your stack. The easiest way to do that is by performing a swing cut and then casually inserting their card at the break. Once you close the deck, their card is secretly sitting at the top of your 14-card sequence. Now comes the best part. They cut the deck as much as they want. And no matter how they cut it, the relative order of your 14 cards stays the same. That's why this trick is so powerful. The spectator genuinely feels in control. Now, when you pretend to look through the deck for their card, you're not actually looking for the selection. You're looking for the ace you placed earlier, the one that begins your stack. The moment you see that ace of spades, or whichever ace you chose, you casually cut all the cards above it to the top of the deck. Do it naturally, like you're still searching for their card. Now the ace is sitting on top. You then deal off about 10 cards. It doesn't have to be exact, just around 10. These cards absolutely cannot be the spectator's card because theirs is 14 down from the ace. You can show the cards, shuffle them, comment on them, whatever you want, and then place them back on top. Now you've created a safe buffer. When you begin dealing cards face down and telling the spectator to call stop whenever they want, something really clever is happening. As soon as you deal past the top few cards and reach the ace, the first card of your stack, you're in the safety zone. No matter where they stop from that point, the trick works. Wherever they stop within the stacked range, the number they stop on will always guide you directly to their card. You can even influence the pacing. If you're worried they might say stop too early, deal a few cards before giving them the instruction. They'll naturally stop within that safe zone. If you're worried they will take too long, just slow the pace of your dealing. In short, this trick is basically foolproof. The secret is simple, the setup is easy, and the performance is incredibly impactful. And that, guys, is the full breakdown behind one of my all-time favorite card tricks. I really hope you enjoyed the performance and the tutorial. This is one of those routines that hits way harder than you'd expect, given how straightforward the method is. It always amazes people because it feels like they made every single decision. They choose the card, they mix the deck, they call out stop, and somehow, in the end, their own instincts lead them straight to their card. It's such a powerful moment because spectators truly feel like they're the ones making the magic happen. Practice the stack, get comfortable with the pacing, and most importantly, have fun with the presentation. Add your personality, your jokes, your storytelling. The handling is simple enough that you can dedicate most of your focus to entertaining your audience. And if you ever run into any issues or you're curious about alternate handlings, feel free to drop your questions in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe because I post tutorials like this all the time. Until next time, this is that magic guy signing off.